Sveiks, Mārtiņ. Hello, Mārtiņ. You know, I start with Latvian because you are my Latvian friend.
Because you are in California, I will say hello, Mr. Twister.
Mr. Twister. Thank you. You know, like Mark is actually on East Coast, so we are all around.
Oh, Mark is on the East Coast, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Of North America or a different continent?
Yeah, in North Carolina.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah. So
Michael Jordan's country.
That's right. I actually live in the same town he grew up in.
Ah, super.
Yeah.
Super. He is my hero.
Mārtiņš, so let me introduce you a little bit. Obviously, you worked in politics and you're still working there for many years, you know, but for me is actually very interesting, your journey, how your family, that I know you have 3 children. You have a beautiful wife, Mrs. Globe. You've been moving to USA twice in your life with your whole family back and forth, because obviously you study. What was the university first? You went to Lakeland College, correct?
Now it's university.
Now it's university.
Yeah.
And then the second time when you moved for a few years to USA, it was when you got master's degree at Harvard University. So it's been amazing journey for you. So, and actually this podcast is not about politics or business, whatever, but it's more about life, about the journey, about that, how it felt or how it feels to be alive, to be that human being, and to enjoy this whole experience, whatever we take on during this lifetime. So, like, if I can ask you first question, you know, how it was for you twice moving to USA and moving back to Latvia, and why you didn't stay in USA?
Well, two very simple reasons why first and second time I moved to the States. First time, I was Soviet Union was breaking up in late 80s, early 90s. And my grandmother's sister happened to live in the US, and I happened to visit at age of 17. And I wanted to be in the US. I wanted to study. I wanted to pursue my goals through US education. I also played, you didn't mention, a little bit basketball, but that's okay. And that's how I got to the US, athletic park academic scholarship. And that first time I graduated from Lakeland College, just like you correctly said, and now it's university. And second time, I very purposefully wanted to get high-level education, and I found this wonderful degree at Harvard University, and they accepted me by chance. So that's how it happened. That's how I twice went to the US. Yes, 2 times in very different formats. First time, my son was very young. Our child was born very, very early. And then, of course, second time, our daughters moved to the States with us, and our son stayed with dogs at home. So, and was studying here. So, yeah, nice budget, good car. All was good for him, and traveling to Boston to visit us.
Beautiful. I mean, you ran through it like it was nothing, but like I would like to go a little bit deeper, you know, like, because I know you. I've been
Agris, I can tell you, try.
Oh, I did it, you know. I already I'm here in United States. That's why I was like, okay, it's not
No,
so easy.
try to go deeper.
But that's the first time I remember you said that story, you know, with together with your wife Eva, you know, that it wasn't easy to move with whole family, and you didn't left them behind. You could say, okay, I'm going alone. I'm going to this college in USA and wait for me at home, and I will be back. But then, like, no, it's like family means for me probably so much more, and I want them with me, and they as well accepted to go with you. And it wasn't like, wow, like paradise, Disneyland, right? It was challenges there.
In life,
Tell some challenges.
in life, Agris, there are two ways of thinking: positive and negative. Positive thinking is about possibilities, and you always look, you think positively, and you look for possibilities. Negative thinking is about risks, harms, and dangers. And whatever you choose to do, you know, hey, you can choose to think positively, and results will be with possibilities. You can choose to think negatively, and you play defense only. So I was very optimistic at my young age. So that's why it's so good.
Love
That's
it.
great.
Mark, do you want to ask something?
Yeah, I'm curious if that was a lesson that life taught you. Did you think did you carry that? I mean, when did you decide that was your philosophy?
You know, you conceptualize your life with years to come, not then. But there were good lessons. For example, at Lakeland, I learned only two things. One was from my coach, Craig Jonas. He was a wonderful basketball coach, super coach. He usually every half a year he invited to his office, and he said, huh, guys, he said to me, you know, Mārtiņ, first time we met, he said, there is one rule in sports. If your fear to lose is bigger than your drive to win, you're going to lose. So your drive has to be bigger. And it applies to everything in life. If your drive is bigger than your fear, then you are on positive path. And second thing, it was about California, where Agris is. What I learned at Lakeland in Midwest. I was a teacher's assistant for a great man, Dr. Shulkat, head of business administration at Lakeland at that time. And he had one picture in his office. It was beautiful coastline of Pacific Ocean. It was evening, sunset. It was huge house with 3-car garage. I think it was Ferrari, Lambo, and it was luxurious. And it was text was as follows to this picture: justification for higher education. So 2 things I learned at school. That's it.
So what about those studies? It was just whatever.
No, those were, you know, something clicked as well.
I mean, and then after this Lakeland, you came back to Latvia and you actually joined the Latvian national basketball team. And I remember
yes,
those
for 1
games.
year. Yeah,
I used to watch those games, and there is this episode where
I guess I don't know whether people in US know that. I don't know whether know, but this year EuroLeague was won by who? Madrid
who?
Real. Basketball. Madrid Real. In 1997 February, I played on a team that beat Madrid Real in Madrid.
You played
So
in the
I know
Latvian team.
it's different team, different story. I know. But 1,000 years from now, it doesn't count.
Now there was this beautiful, actually, I remember that you are not the center position, but there was this, I remember as myself watching the game, I was the big basketball fan and I played basketball myself. And I remember there was this situation when there is this, that you jump for the ball in the center of the
it was playing against German national team.
Yeah. So when you have, and then there was like, why Mārtiņš is taking that jump, because he's not the, like the tallest guy, or he's not the center, and everyone's like, ha ha ha, he's not going to win that first draw, and you did, and that's set for that
Agris, sorry for interrupting. You are in California. And you are close to Hollywood, and they have made a picture. White man can jump.
Yeah, there is even a movie about that.
No. That's what I said. White man can jump.
And you did it, and I remember that actually that one act of that jump and that willingness and that you want to get this ball set the pace for all the game, right? You just show that we are here to win.
We beat Germany by 21 or 23 at that time, and it was like crazy it was surprise for everyone. They invited our federation invited German federation to help poor Latvians with basketball, etc. And here Latvians take and beat them.
But this mentality, so is this something you took from this college, from Lakeland College at that time? That was the mentality you get from this
very US,
or?
It's very US mentality in general. I mean, US is I don't know how nowadays. I haven't been for a while in the US, but late 90s or in 90s, US was extremely positive driven country.
It's still now, it's still lots of willingness to compete, to be the best. Obviously, it's a big country. There is lots of competition and lots of love for the sport itself. I think it's big. The love for the sport comes from that willingness to win, I guess.
Yeah, true.
So let's jump, actually, because I think that for me, and at that time I didn't know you, right? We met later on in this lifetime, and you served on for Latvian president, and everyone considers that Latvian president Biography Freiberger are always been in the history going as the best president ever, and you had a chance to be next to her for how many years?
7.
For 7 years. So you travel with to White House. You've been in White House where probably not many people been.
George W. in White House. George W. 43rd asked me, "Can you dunk?" I said, "Not anymore." It was in 2003. I said, "Not anymore." So, but I could dunk quite a bit.
But how many world leaders and presidents you shake the hand? What does it mean? to who are they? Who are they as a human being?
We had goals. We had goals for Latvia. We needed to become NATO member. We needed to become EU member. We did it. As one famous singer from United States sings, "Oops, I did it again." But it wasn't again. It was for first time. It was big for us. We did it. And that's why our president goes into history with capital letter.
What was those things you learned from that 7 years? Because you learned two things in Lakeland.
Well, that's why I entered in politics previously, because I learned one thing, looking at those who are on stage. I said, in the future, I don't want that idiots make decisions on my behalf. Sorry for using French, but
that was great.
Oh no, and you know, it's very important to have educated and people who understand where the world is going. And if you don't, you cheat your people. You cheat yourself. And if you can't trust those who make decisions, you have to make them by yourself. That's what I learned that time, and many other things, of course.
I'm waiting for Mark to ask. I know he has hundreds of questions, but I think this is beautiful conversation.
Mark is speechless.
Yeah, I am speechless because I feel like, you know, that's what we all need to hear. I mean, I know you didn't say it for that reason, but that's really what we need to hear. I think that we're at, you know, at a point in history where everything, if it's not already changing, it needs to change. And there's a lot of people that are wondering, am I being called to be that person to step up and make those changes? And so I'm curious, like, you know, what I'm getting from you is that positive attitude is an important part of this, and also having goals, right? And is there anything else that I'm missing if someone feels called to step up?
Do you know British singer Robbie Williams? No, there is a British singer, Robbie Williams, and he has one song that he has many songs that I like, but one song is called "Feel," and there is a line: "I sit and talk to God, and He just laughs at my plans." So pretty much, of course, we can charge ahead, but there are things. For example, why did I leave basketball at early age? Because my goal was to go to Sydney Olympics, and I saw that Latvia cannot make, so I left basketball. Basta, hasta la vista, baby, as they say in California.
So you're what I can perceive, your goals always been very high. It's not like those are high goals,
right?
Sydney
You know,
Olympics.
if we set everything aside, then at the end of the day, my question will be, what's your legacy? What's your legacy? What have you left behind? For your children, for your family, for your society, what is it? Anything? So if you just lived, that's one. If you have achieved, that's nice. That's it. Nothing else. I'm glad my three children have good education and good opportunities in life, and I hope that I have played some bit part of it.
Yeah. But do you think what is to be child of Mārtiņš and Ieva Bondari? What does it mean for them?
You know, there are some children of ours who say that it's crazy because they cannot outcompete us. They want, but they cannot. But they can. They just, it's mentality. Of course they can. We are just stepping stones for them.
So they are in the game of competition in a sense.
Well, they see what they have what their parents have done, and they think, well, we need as well. They will achieve. I'm confident they will. They will achieve more. But it's just different age, and that's why younger people shouldn't think that they should make achievements the same way as we did. It was different age for us, so it's okay. No worries.
I'm waiting for Mark, but Mark is not stepping in because
Well,
he's
I'm just
wondering.
curious. I'm just curious. Well, how old are the kids?
Well, my oldest son is 30. My oldest daughter is 23, and my youngest daughter is 19. So
So they are grown-ups, right?
they are grown-ups, but you know, they need parental help more now than previously. From 0 to 2, they need help, and then from girls from 25 up and boys from 27 up.
I like how you put those things. Like
Oh,
for you, always it's just like think, easy. You know, it's like there's nothing difficult. It's like why people make it difficult. it's just a life.
No, I know every problem you can take and make it complicated, and then you can break it down. When you break it down, then it's not complicated anymore. Mastery of life is to break it down.
Give us example.
Just like with for example, kids' education. When child is born, or your boy right now is at young age, you don't think about college or university, but you should be. There's no way. I mean, those years will run by very quickly, extremely quickly. So if you don't plan, at least in your head, or you don't have strategic vision, then as to say, you know, you will never know where you end up. If you have strategic vision, you know, you take small steps every day, or every week, or every month, or every year, and you're there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Something like this. It's
So
as I was taught in, I don't know who taught me in the US, but they taught me strategy is urgent. Something like this. So strategy is urgent. Some other things, what, don't buy a glass of Coke or glass of wine or glass of beer. Think what you're gonna do in 10 years from now, and how you're gonna do it.
does it really always plays out as you wanted, or there are surprises, right?
You buy very oftenly a New York lottery and you never win, and only once in a lifetime you win.
What is your biggest wins in your lifetime? What is your winnings?
Oh Jesus, I have been blessed. First of all, when I first could go to the US to study initially, big time. then becoming chief of staff of prime minister, chief of staff of president of the country, then playing for national team. Kids. I mean, Agris, you don't have so many hours of this conversation. I am blessed. I cannot complain. If I complain, then I spit in the face of God.
How was that Harvard time for you? What was the learning you took? Two learnings from Harvard, or there maybe non-learnings from Harvard? I don't know.
It was funny. October semester started. Everybody is going crazy because volume of studies is just beyond. And what do? There is special session for those who are anxious. I was anxious. So what do? You go to that session. You sit around the table. There's some lady who is running this show, and she says, "Okay, introduce yourself and tell what's the story about you." So it happened that I was the last one who tells his story or her story. And there were guys and girls from Harvard Yard or Harvard College, BA students and master students and etc. And I said, before I came to Harvard, I was running bank. I had 2 secretaries or 2 assistants. I had 2 drivers, but life didn't satisfy me. I wanted my brain to be challenged. And one girl says, "You had 2 secretaries, 2 drivers?" She says, "We come to Harvard to get it, and you come to Harvard to get it off. This is beyond." So this was one of the lessons, Be careful what you wish for. Something like this.
I love this analogy. It's just like somebody goes to Harvard to get it. You did the opposite in a sense.
Opposite, but yeah, it was happy year. It's like at Harvard, it was like breathing pure oxygen. It was super. It was super year. It was. We had all professors who were coming into my class teaching me. They were superstars. If previously in my life I could count on my fingers how many superstars I had as teachers, then at Harvard everybody was a superstar, and that was big. I can attest to you that as Robbie Williams is singing in his song, "No Regrets."
So you think environment plays a big role on pulling out the best out of us?
First of all, people who surround you, definitely. People who surround you. Because they give you, you take it when you are there, you take it for granted, but it's not. It's simply not.
So we in a sense, we choose environment. We build this environment for ourselves. We choose the people we are around. I think this is actually in politics, it's so important to choose who to play the game. Like I call it game, but maybe you don't. But for me, it's a game.
But Agris, just like I said, Robbie Williams was singing, "I sit and talk to God, and he just laughs at my plans." You never know what kind of people will be around you. The question is how you handle every situation.
And You just asked the question, how do you handle the situation?
It depends.
So we cannot get you in the this longer explanation. Like it depends.
It depends on situation. Well, Agris, it depends on situation, but you are challenged every time, all the time in your life. All the time. You are challenged. I am challenged. Mark is challenged. Everybody is challenged. The question is whether we are taking this challenge. Very simple. Can we? Can we take any challenge that comes in front of us? And the better we are, the bigger the challenge.
What was your biggest challenges? I'm curious.
Oh, those are not the most pleasant ones. Graduated from Harvard. 2 days later, my dad had a stroke. 6 months of battle. Days afterwards. Tough. Very tough. One of those. It's a challenge. It was a challenge for me to go to hospital every day. He was paralyzed. This is big challenge. Mentally is still. And, you ask yourself a question. How do you want to die? Instantly? Or just like it took to my dad?
And seeing this, it's probably even more painful.
But now it's more than 10 years and I'm still, guys, sorry. This is not for me.
Then there is this universal question, like at the end of the day, that's all it matters, right? How we live our life, how we share it with our loved ones, and we come back to our family and the place where we feel the most loved and nurtured, right?
Of course. Jesus, I don't know what will be end of the day. Trust me, I have no clue. I was recently on to one theater where it's called birthday cakes, and basically there were constantly showing birthday of one person from age of 18 up to 100. And starting from age of 50, it wasn't pleasant. From 18 to 50 was good. From 50 up, not really. You lost this one, that one. You became sicker and sicker. And yeah, not fun.
That's life.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm ready to learn. I had a great friend. Still, he's a great friend in Wisconsin, close by Lakeland. He was my host family. And he once said, well, we were studying at Lakeland. He said, Martin, I went to visit my friend who retired as school director. And you know what he said in his speech? He said, it's great to retire, but there are things I regret. And for you to understand, I was so busy in my professional life that I didn't have time to smell roses. But now I can't smell anymore.
Wow.
So this is one of those. So you don't live to work. You work to live. Something like this, right?
I mean, I that's beautiful said, you know, it's yeah. So there are stages in life, right? When you are young, you have all those dreams, you chase, you have fun, and you did it with I understood you did it always with positive approach, and you still living in that positivity, you know, in that seeing things
No,
positive.
I mean, Agris, you have story, Mark has story, and I have story. Each of us have story. We can tell this story from positive aspect and from negative aspect. Whatever we want, however we want, as long as we are healthy, as long as our loved ones are healthy. Why do we need to complain? What's the reason to complain? Give me one reason to complain. I mean, I can find at any moment some reason to complain, but
Yeah, I mean, it always makes me wonder, because I feel like you do hear the complaints more than the attitude that you're talking about right now, which is, you know, obviously it's a great one, but you do hear a lot of people finding things to complain about, and you wonder why. Like, why choose that if you can choose to have a positive perspective versus, you know, just focusing on the negative? Why go on the negative?
You don't have this. When you say French words, you don't have this P. But they have screwed up lives.
Mm-hmm.
You can use different word. And sometimes they believe that they should screw up someone else's life to make it better for themselves. But in reality, it doesn't work that way. So they chase someone else, they complain, they whine, because I mean, we can whine as well. Mark, you can whine, I can whine,
Right.
others can whine. We can do it constantly. But you know, there are two types of wine. I don't know whether you know. There are Beaujolais, very fresh and young wine. You know, you drink it right away. And then there are Barolos that are 15 and more year olds. You drink only when 15 plus. So you choose. You complain now, or you make Kenyan way, as in Kenya, Africa, they do. Pole, pole. Slowly, slowly, steadily, steadily.
So you can, like what I understood, you can take your complaint super long and complain for 15 and even more years, or you can just complain right away and then live happily after.
And you can forget about your complaint, because 9 out of 10 problems solve themselves by themselves. Nothing bad. Only 1 out of 10 is kind of tricky, but you know.
Yeah, this is great, right? I love this. That so for me, this teach, you know, when you said like 9 of 10 times the problem solves itself, which
Of
is
course.
sometimes it is, like for me, it used to be like I receive email and I feel like, oh my gosh, what's this email? Like I have to respond and say what I think about that, and every time I did, it turned around even bigger problem. But then at some point in my life, I learned like, wait, let me see this email in the morning. Let me see this email week after. Let's see if there is actually even problem in it. And usually it wasn't. There wasn't any problem anymore. It was just in that moment, like, oh my gosh, you react on things. And I guess in your life, being in so many of those situations as well, no?
I should Agris tell you, yes, Mr. President. You're right. You are right. No. To rush to solve issues that sometimes are, you have to take a bit in perspective. Now and here it looks, guys, what is it? Something like this.
We lost a little bit your answer.
Me?
Not you,
You
your
lost
answer.
me?
It looks like the signal has confusion because it goes to many coasts at the same time. And I enjoying this conversation, Martin.
Agris, this is small problem. Signal is small problem.
let's wait for tomorrow morning to see.
Yeah.
Tell, like, I love your wisdom messages. I love how you put things in perspective and how, like, obviously I can see you have so much experience to see things from different perspective. What is your daily approach? What is your, like, that way how you approach every day?
Depends on day, Agris. No, it's one of those, really, it depends on day. It depends what's on my menu for the day, for the week, for the months. I try to make every year promises to myself, and I try to make those promises happen. So, but those promises are bigger than one day. And then you have to break them down. And then you break them down in quarters of a year, in months of a year, in weeks of a year. That's how you live. And sometimes unexpected turns take place. But very general. This is very general.
So you're like, you're always tuned in. That's what I perceive, you're always tuned in, and you're like, okay, whatever day will come, I know how to approach it.
I'm ready, Agris. I have prepared myself. Sorry, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. No. I am ready. Yes, I have trained myself to be ready. That's how it always have worked. Especially when you work for example, number one in the state, you have to be ready. There's no choice. There is no choice. Always ready. And since then, I don't know how it is not to be ready. Always ready. But now I can be ready in a relaxed way. It's very different. Then it was like, oh, Jesus, what's going to happen? Full pants of brown stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. What is your way of relaxation? What do you enjoy? What is your relaxation? How you relax?
Oh, you will be very surprised and very bored by it. Gardening. Cutting grass, looking at trees that I have planted this year. Maybe they need some water, watering trees. Looking at flowers. Oh, right now there are some beautiful flowers in my garden. So walking around, having fun. You need to have fun at some point of time in life. You cannot just to live to work. You need to work to live. As simple as that, Agris. I think, I don't know, maybe it's one of those.
I agree 100%, whatever it is for anyone, right, to relax, but we have to find that place of I can call it place of heaven, because it felt like when you're gardening, it feels for you like a place of heaven. You are just feeling complete in those situations.
It's great time to think as well. Contemplate. To find the future moves. Some people go fishing. It's also for them the same story. I like gardening. For fish, I go to the market. It's more sure than open waters.
I've been in your garden. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's super. No, I love it. I love it. I really love it. Just before we have evening right now here. It's about 9 o'clock or somewhere. Yeah, a little bit past 9. Today, 7 hours in garden. 7 hours.
That's why you came out in this podcast so positive today, because
yes, of course, because one of those where you can enjoy.
This was a master class right here.
Thank you.
I love it how you make complicated things simple, because it all it is, right? Life is simple if you don't complicate it.
Agris, I always question myself whether it's a sign of stupidity mine that I make it simple, or simply it's a skill. I have no clue.
I'm saying it's a skill.
Me too.
Thank you. Thank
So
Well,
you got confirmation from from East and West Coast.
You always question yourself whether you're because some people know they are always right, but those who have little bit more education, they always question themselves whether they are right or wrong, or they have little internal schizophrenia. Because you never know. You never know.
Yeah. When you say never, it's the path to fulfill that never.
As former governor of California said, I'll be back.
Oh, Mārtiņš, it's an amazing time. And then you
It
have,
is.
Again, I love your positivity, it's amazing. And we needed that, definitely, because now, and I know, like, you been through lots of things, right? And to keep still be that presence in that positivity gives me a lot of that joy to see it. So I'm really happy for this podcast episode, and hope you enjoy it.
I can tell you, I can give my problems to you, but this doesn't help to solve them. So let's leave them.
I love it.
Something like this.
Yeah, like it's a good one. I can give you my problems, but what's the point, right? Because you are not going to solve them.
Right.
No. So something like this. As great friend of mine said, be good, do the best, and let God do the rest. Not complicated formula. You just follow. Be good, do the best.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. I'll be marinating in this wisdom now. So thank you, because that was
Mark.
great.
Agrees.
Appreciate that.
Thank you
Guys,
so much. Thank you so
hang
much.
in there. All the best. Ciao.
Thank you.